Hey everyone, Ashley here. Welcome to Ashley Talks Movies, and welcome to my review of The Menu. The film follows a group of foodies who travel to a remote island to eat at an exclusive restaurant run by a famed chef played by Reiss Fiennes. As the diners are presented each new course, they start to realize something sinister about their dining experience. Before I get into the review, a few things. If you like the channel, please subscribe by hitting the subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. Also hit that notification button so you don't miss any of the videos that I'm posting. Time for the review. The Menu is a satire, a dark satire that takes aim at many different things. The obvious one being fine dining, foodie culture, people who obsess over all things related to food. And then it also pokes fun at elitists, people who are the ultra wealthy, right? The super rich, the one percenters, people who spend lavish amounts of money on things that many people would probably feel is just, silly or trivial. The film is smartly written. And so it's very clever in how it takes on those subject matters and how it portrays these people. It's not just looking at them and going, okay, these are rich people and they're obnoxious and awful because they're rich, right? It's also looking at the larger world in which they exist, right? The industry or the culture in which they exist. In this case, it's looking at it through the lens of, this restaurant, this dining experience that is very exclusive. Like you're going to a remote island and you're given a presentation on this food, and every different food item has a meaning or a purpose. And then at the end of it, there's a whole theme that runs through all of this. You have to figure it out through the different food items and how it's presented. And it's just like this whole thing. And there's people who buy into that, right? And so the film is looking at not just rich people and how they spend their money or how obnoxious they can be and arrogant they can be about things, but also like the larger culture that allows them to exist like this. Now, I do not consider myself a foodie. I am not really interested in all the fine dining experiences and things like that. So I'm so far removed from this world that is portrayed in the film. But thankfully, again, the film is very smart in that it provides a surrogate character for people like me in the audience in the form of Anya Taylor-Joy's character, Margot. Margot is so different from all the other characters in this film in that she's not ultra wealthy. She's not like obsessed with food like these other people are. She finds the whole experience kind of silly. While everyone else in the restaurant is sort of reveling every time a new menu item is presented, or new course I should say is presented, and they're given the whole backstory into that course and what went into it, the ingredients and things like that. Everyone's wowed by it, wowed by the chef's presentation, wowed by the food, and Margot's just kind of sitting there going, what is the point of all this? This seems so silly. This seems so mundane. Like, what is going on? This is what you're impressed by? This is not impressive. And Anya Taylor-Joy is fantastic in this role. She does such a great job of portraying this character. Really, really great job. And again, does a great job of her performance in separating her character from those other characters in the film. And then you have Reiss Fiennes, who is just phenomenal in this role. He plays the chef, Slowick, and he is, when you're first introduced to this character, you're not quite sure about him. He's kind of odd. He's also kind of mysterious. How he does his presentation is also kind of strange, but you just kind of go with it. And as the film reveals itself, as the story, I should say, reveals itself, you start to realize that this guy isn't quite what he seems. And Reiss Fiennes plays that balance so well, because again, his character is sort of odd, but then he's also kind of menacing, and you're like, is he a good guy? Is he a bad guy? Like, is he dangerous? Is he not? What is going on here? And he does that so well. Really, everyone in this cast is fantastic. Nicholas Hoult is great. He plays this character he's basically the guy who brings Anya Taylor-Joy's character to this dining experience. She's his date for the evening, and he plays the kind of person that is just this like really obnoxious know-it-all. Like, he has studied the food, he has studied fine dining, he has studied the chef, right? He knows all the terms, knows all the ingredients, and makes a point throughout the film to teach Anya Taylor-Joy's character about the different things. Like, he'll say, oh, this has a hint of this, or this is what this means, and like you'll understand it once you get to this point, or you won't fully appreciate this unless you do this, right? He's just so obnoxious, and Nicholas Hoult plays him so well, to the point where, like, I think if I had to spend 5 minutes with a person like that, I would leave, because I don't know how she did it, because he's just really annoying. I also want to say this film was beautifully shot. Beautifully shot. It also makes really great use of the space. You know, this is a very contained story. Majority of it takes place inside the restaurant, so the characters aren't really going to a lot of different locations, right? They're mostly contained to the restaurant. But the film does a great job of you know, making use of the space, in that it doesn't feel like this film ever slows down, and it's just, oh, you're just sitting there watching people talk and eat. Like, how boring. It isn't. It keeps things moving from the different shots of the food and close-ups of the food, so you can see different items, to the wider shots of the dining room space and even the kitchen, when the different chefs and cooks are making the food items, and the chef is sort of making his way around the kitchen. You're seeing how each different table is reacting to different dishes, and so you're checking in with different characters throughout the experience. And so it all feels sort of grand and, you know, exclusive and fancy, but it also feels very confined, because you are basically, you know, stuck in this one space. I mean, I think the menu is great. I think if I had one complaint about this film, is that the ending didn't quite land for me. The ending felt a little bit abrupt, but that would be the only really negative thing I have to say about this film. Otherwise, I think I think it's smartly written. I think it's well made. I think the performances are fantastic. I think the film is, you know, itself is very clever, and I liked how it tackled the subject matter in this way, by using satire. And, you know, it's very funny, it's very entertaining, and it's also very horrifying. So that's my review of The Menu. If you've had a chance to watch the film and you want to share your thoughts, you can do so in the comment section below. While you're here, like this video, hit that thumbs up button, and don't forget to subscribe to see more videos like this.